All right, so we have had an absolute blast here fishing Florida, but I've got to tell you, this has been one of those trips where if something can go wrong, it's going wrong. It just happens sometimes, and unfortunately, it has happened for us on this trip. Now look, we haven't set the world on fire as far as getting bites, but every trip we've gotten a good number of blow-ups. Been really focused on these Matrix Mullets, throwing topwater baits because I'm just here to catch a big fish. I mean, in Louisiana right now, we got plenty of 12 to 20 inch fish. Catching that is not really what I came here for, and I think I had at least one of those hooked and probably some blow-ups from some others, but none of them have gotten in the boat, so it's really been kind of driving me nuts. Now, I've had great success with that Matrix Mullet in Louisiana. I know the hooks on that bait are really good hooks. I like everything about that bait, but as a wise man once said, if you keep on doing what you're doing, you're gonna keep on getting what you're getting. So I went to Gray's Tackle today, just up the road in Perdido, and bought some #2 owner hooks. Now, I don't wanna change the action of this Matrix Mullet too much, so all I did was put one on the back split ring. So as you can tell, it's 2 different size hooks, but they're not big enough to hook each other, which is obviously a problem if you have hooks that are too big, and I just feel like this bigger hook will hopefully hold on to some of those bigger trout. I don't know. Maybe it won't make a difference, but we'll see. I had to change something up. I may not get another blow up this whole trip. I don't know. But I really, really hope I do. And I am still optimistic. Maybe foolishly so. But I'll tell you this. I am more determined than ever to go out there and catch a trophy speckled trout.
All right, it's the final day of the Florida adventure. First cast of the morning. I've come to this area called Rabbit Island. I fished here yesterday morning, made one pass through here and got 2 blow-ups, but I got here a little bit late and the boat traffic kind of messed it up. So I'm starting here this morning. Let me tell you, there's bait everywhere in here. Definitely happy with my choice. Hopefully it results in one of those 5-pound plus bruisers. There's a trout. There's a trout. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I was 3 feet away from a speckled trout. Man, it is dead slick this morning. Just a beautiful morning. I'd actually probably like a little bit of breeze. I'm in a sea of mullet. I mean, just an absolute sea of bait. Back home, if you saw something like this that was very isolated, it would be full of fish. It may be full of fish here, but I can't get them to bite.
This episode of Marsh Man Masson brought to you by Puglia Sporting Goods.
Okay, there's a fish. Oh, he's barely hooked. Shoot, he's barely hooked. Oh, stay on, big boy. He's not that big. He's not that big, but he is barely hooked. There he is. All right, that is a sight for sore eyes. I tell you what, I got my extension cord in here because I took the boat this morning and took it off the charger. I have to pick it up. I'm going to meet Joel and Brandy, Mrs. Marsh Man. Look at this. It's that new owner hook that got him. Front hook dangling free, but it was hooked for a minute, but it came off. I saw it come off. He hit me so close to the boat. Hopefully you saw it on camera. It's about 20 inches. Look how pretty these fish are. Look at the spots. Our fish in Louisiana just don't look like this at all. Just so beautiful. I'm not gonna measure him. I'm just gonna let him go. Oh, look how pretty this fish is. There he goes. Not the giant I wanted, but man, it's been a bit of a dry run. I'm so glad to get that fish. So this goes to show you how hard I've been fishing this Matrix Mullet. Look at this thing. It's all beat up. But I gotta tell you, I actually prefer that to be the case, because if you ever see the weakest mullet in a school, he'll always be just chewed up. Look like a jack ate him and regurgitated him. And those are the ones I think that the trout key in on. So I really like topwater baits. Actually, after they get a little bit of age on them, I feel like they're much more productive than the ones fresh out of the package. Oh, look at this. That's either School of Reds or manta rays. Let's go check that out. It really kind of looks like manta rays though. It's another thing we don't see at home. You see something like that, that's a School of Reds. Man, my curiosity's killing me. I gotta go check this out. Manta rays, it seems like the fins poke up and immediately go straight down, whereas these are staying up a little bit, more like a redfish. Now I don't see them. Oh, there they are. Oh, that's definitely redfish, 100%. 100%. See if they, oh, there they are. There they are. I'm gonna stay as far away as possible and still reach them. I'm starting to get less convinced it's redfish. I'm thinking it's manta rays. All right, they're about to come by me. They're manta rays. It shows you how out of my element I am. Look at this, how beautiful. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Man, it's so pretty. Definitely don't see those in the marshes I fish in South Louisiana. All right, let's get back to the task at hand. Redfish should just be a distraction anyway. Yeah, I just can't get over how beautiful the speckled trout are here. They almost look like mountain trout. Our specks have far fewer spots. Now, something else I noticed though, the trout here are a lot skinnier than our speckled trout. They're long and lanky. I'm sure that's not always the case, but the ones I've caught, that's definitely been the case. In Louisiana, a 25-inch speckled trout will weigh 5 pounds or so. Sometimes you'll have a 24-inch trout that'll weigh 5 pounds. I don't think that'd be the case here. I'm betting a 25-inch trout will be 4 pounds or maybe even a little less. Ooh. Oh, he missed it. Man, that fish just kind of slurped at the bait, but that big one I had hooked a day or two ago did the exact same thing. So what I'm fishing is a big turtle grass flat, and contained within this turtle grass, you'll have areas like this. I don't know if you can see that. That because of bottom contour, I guess, or bottom makeup, they don't have any turtle grass. Like this area is devoid of it, so it gives you this nice edge. And what I haven't figured out yet is if those fish concentrate more on the bald areas or like over the turtle grass itself. What I've been doing is focusing on the edges of that stuff, but maybe some of my Florida viewers can enlighten me as to how you typically approach that. Do you focus on the bald areas? Do you focus on the actual turtle grass? I tell you, what's been amazing to me is how few people I see fishing over here. If I lived here, I would be here every moment I got. If I had a spare hour or so, I'd run out here to float these flats. And obviously, there are way more efficient ways to fish. There are people all over South Louisiana right now, and probably here in Florida as well, throwing live shrimp, catching far more numbers of speckled trout than I'm catching. But I would literally rather catch 1 or 2 this way and have that potential for a really big fish than catch 50 on live shrimp. It's not even close. There's a miss. Never touched the bait. Kind of the theme of the week. Oh, I felt him.
This episode of Marsh Man Masson brought to you by H&H Lure Company and by Bill Lewis and by Cito New Orleans and by Versamax Courts and by Sportsman's Outfitters.
That was a good fish. That was a good freaking fish. Oh. One shot, all you got. To quote Eminem. To paraphrase Eminem. Oh, goodness. That was a good fish. Man, if every blow up on this trip had been a fish that I actually pulled over the gunnel, I promise you, I would have a fish over 7 pounds. I know I've had fish that size hit this bait. I just think because this water temperature is up and it's almost 90 degrees, that they're not really feeding on this bait. They're just kind of hitting it out of anger. Just a lot of swipes and maybe tail slaps. There's just nothing you can do about that. Obviously, when you hook up and pull the hooks, you know, maybe you could have had your drag looser or, you know, done things a little bit differently. But when they're just not ingesting the bait, when they're not nailing it, just a lot of them get off, even after you have them hooked, just because they're not hooked well. Might be hooked on the side of the face or the top of the head. You know, certain days when you're topwater fishing where you can do whatever you want, you're gonna land those fish. They're just taking it deep, they're getting both hooks in their mouths. Just hasn't been the case on this trip. And I bet it would be earlier in the season. Here, first week of June, it's been really, really hot. We haven't had any rain at all in a couple weeks. So this water, particularly in these flats, is just really, really warm. But still, I'd rather be doing this than anything. Just so much fun. You get enough blow-ups. Law of averages says sooner or later one of them's gonna screw up. Get too close to those hooks and you're gonna get him in the boat. Oh. Oh. Oh, man. That looked like a redfish. That one hit twice, but he looked like a redfish. I don't think it was a trout. Just a crazy explosion. Another hit. One hit wonders. One hit wonders. I think Florida fish are blind. They're cross-eyed. How can that many fish hit a bait and not actually hit the bait? Really amazing. That was our 8th blow up this morning. Only one fish landed. Another hit. Another hit and another miss. He came back for seconds. We missed it both times. That makes 10 blow ups. All right, sun's definitely getting high. Our topwater bite is winding down. But I've gotten enough hits on this flat that I'm not giving up just yet. There are definitely some fish here. However, I'm kind of reaching the end of the flat, so I'm gonna have to move and do another drift, probably on a different line. All right, let's make a move. All right, so all I did was come to a different section of this flat. Gotten a lot of blow-ups here today, so I don't want to leave this area, even though it's getting kind of late. The sun has been up about 2 hours now. And I've got about a 45-minute run to where I'm meeting my wife and Joel, so I definitely have some time to kill. But at some point, when they give me the word, I'm gonna have to wrap things up. I'll probably give this topwater another 30 minutes, and then I'll switch to a jerkbait until I get the signal. So I've obviously learned a lot during my Florida excursion, and obviously I still have a lot to learn. Hope to get back here at some point and keep building on what I have learned. But one thing, you don't want to fish here on the weekend. Just far too much pleasure boat traffic. Obviously that spooks those fish, but it also has another effect. It tears up these turtle grass beds, and you have turtle grass floating everywhere and constantly fouling your bait. It's a Tuesday morning today, and I don't know if 3 times I've had turtle grass in my bait, and I'm fishing over a giant turtle grass flat. You don't see it floating in the water. All that wave action definitely has an impact. All right, looking like my topwater bite is going the way of the dinosaurs. So I'll probably finish this drift. I've got maybe another, I don't know, 10 minutes of it. Hope I get lucky. And then I'll find a new drift with a jerkbait. All right, time to make that move. Go throw jerkbaits, although I might sneak a topwater cast in here or there. All right, I made my move. Hopefully I can show a little bit of self-discipline and fish this jerkbait. Keep that topwater on the deck. But we'll see. Oh, there's a fish. First cast. First cast with the jerkbait. A giant speckled trout. That's why you come to Florida. Catch these 8-inchers. I got a hit right before that. Probably from one of these little guys. Oh, there we go. All right, little guy. Get big. We'll catch you next year. I'll tell you one thing Florida does definitely not have a shortage of is ospreys. Just incredible. It's obviously nesting season because most of the ones I'm seeing are nesting. And it looks like the males contribute. Oh, is that a fish? It is a fish, but it is not a big one. I'm in the land of guppies. Where is your daddy? This RipShad looks so good in the water. I don't throw a lot of jerkbaits this time of year. I throw them in the winter time when our water temperatures are down and we don't have a ton of shrimp in the marsh. I can't wait to throw this one. I don't think these are even available to the public yet. I'll have to check. It's a Matrix product. This is the first time I fished it. I can tell you, it just looks fantastic in the water. Oh, just missed him. Oh, missed him. Oh, look at this. Dude, there's fish everywhere. Oh. About 5 or 6 speckled trout followed this bait back to the boat. We're taking turns just waylaying it. Bunch of bait right here. Oh, there he is. There he is. That one didn't miss it. These fish are not big. I'm not gonna do this long. Fast action for sure, but man, they're little fish. Oh, thanks for shiting on me, dude. I guess I had it coming considering what I did to you. Oh, you're gonna put a hook in my finger. Now, why couldn't your big brethren get hooked this well all week? All right, I just got the signal. This trip has come to an end. Sadly, this has been a blast.
All right, Sunshine State, you've hooked me far harder than I did many of the speckled trout you sent my way. I have fallen in love with this place. It was a challenge. Let me tell you, I missed so many fish, but still, I wouldn't do anything differently than what I did. I feel confident in my technique, where I fished, what I threw. I didn't get that bruiser I was hoping for, but I feel like my next trip here, I will use the information I learned this time and be a better angler here next time. I cannot wait to get back here, that's for sure. Well, it's definitely a different Marsh Man Masson video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the channel and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. And until next time, if we don't see you in the marsh or here in beautiful sunny Florida, we'll see you right here on Marsh Man Masson. Now I gotta make the long run and go meet Joel and Mrs. Marshman all the way to launch in Alabama. Well, see you next time.